Hello and welcome to today's video, and in this one we'll be covering all of the aspects Castle have added or changed in the game, and since this brand new event was released you may have seen some of the changes already, but what I want to do is cover all the major things they've added or changed and go into slightly more in-depth detail into each one of them and explain which ones are good or bad. So let's start off with some of the smallest or not so important changes that they've made and work towards the more important ones. And hopefully, if I've sorted this already, you should actually be seeing some chapters at the bottom bar of the video or at least in the description. So the first thing I think a few people might be happy with, and that will be the Unequip button for all your dwellers. You can find this option by clicking on a dweller of any kind and click on the coat hanger option in the top right to find it. Now this one won't be too important for most people, but for anyone who's been training up a random dweller, even if it's not for your main squad, this will actually make your life easier with taking off all the items you don't want and adding the items that you do want. I can also see this being most useful to your squad if you have a change of heart for a fighter and you want to add a completely new set of items that you don't have a setup in your profile yet. So again, this will be more of a nice setting to see rather than a game changing one. But the next thing that can be somewhat useful will be the ability to spend all mana option when upgrading your fighters using elixirs. This doesn't need much explaining, but I'm sure that most people that do the Lighthouse, and especially after the rankings are over, would have faced the issue of running out of mana if you placed anywhere in the top 6 and spend all your mana on your elixirs at one time. So with this new button added, it will at least make it easier for you rather than guessing on how much you need and just saving time in general. Moving on to the next update they've added, and that will be the online status for players that are in the neighbourhoods. Now this feature would have been amazing if they didn't make it a choice to have your status hidden by default, so for a lot of players in your clan they will have their status disabled, meaning this update is actually going to be useless. But for the more fortunate clans, or maybe in the future when the global chat is open up again, it could actually be worth enforcing people to enable this option if they want to use the neighbourhoods. This will actually make things more efficient for warlords or above in a clan of 40 plus active players who actually do use the neighbourhoods. The alternative would be if Castle could allow warlords or again above to always see when people are online without the need of players changing their settings. This would both allow the majority of the clan not to see the people when they're online, but also allow the more important people in the clan to take control more effectively. Now from here we start to move on to the more important part of the update, but before we do, please make sure you give this video a like if you're enjoying this video so far to show me that you actually are. Now this update is going to be for clan territories again, but this will actually be affecting players in a good way that play the Cathedral or the Lighthouse. So for players that do the Lighthouse weekly, they should actually be using the Raiders neighbourhood now when they can, as the Raiders now allow you to earn extra lanterns in your victories, and luckily this can be up to 20%, which is much more than the usual 9%. So I'm glad they've made this change to up the amount, and when this is paired up with the Lighthouse banner flag, you can expect to earn many more lanterns for your time. Now for Cathedral players, there are some slight changes to earn you more particles of light. You actually need to join the Hunters neighbourhood instead of the Raiders, and this part is only somewhat unfortunate as you can only earn 9% instead of the 20% like the Lanterns received. But this does actually make some sense as they've already added something else to the Cathedral, and that's by defeating minions or Guardian waypoints, you will now earn summoning scrolls for clan bosses and buy more attacks. This is going to be great for clans that have been struggling to earn enough scrolls to summon the best bosses, plus when you combine the Hunters neighbourhoods with the Banner of Life flag, you can still expect to earn a nice amount of particles for completing your cathedrals. Now this next change in the game, in my opinion, hasn't been implemented too well, and that will be the auto battle feature for the djembes. This might be something that they can tweak and optimise in the future, but for now this is a bit of a dud for me, but also has some potential to be amazing for the future when you're busy. But the reason it's a dud for me is because it actually comes with some problems, and they're not really that minor. So let's start off with the smallest ones and work towards the major reason. Firstly, when a single fighter dies, it does pause the djembe entirely. Now yes, it would be stupid for the game to continue with fighters down, but I'd have expected them to at least add the next person in your list to the squad. And as you may know, you can organise this before entering a djembe to make it easier for future fights, like I have here to use all tanks in the beginning rounds. So this would allow you to set up your next fighters you would want to autofill when your current fighters die, and this would stop the djembe from pausing mid-rounds. The next issue is there's no option to use spells like the auto portal battles do, so if they could add a button to use a spell per round, this would be a benefit, and as long as it was an option and not forced. But at least I can say that the relic will activate without your assistance, so that is something nice to see. the last major point that makes the auto battles in the gem base silly as of right now, and that's the fact that it actually takes me longer to do the auto battles than for me to just do it myself. Now you could argue that you don't need to look at your screen, but with the issue that I mentioned earlier, if you was to lose any fighter it would just pause the rounds. So if you're not looking at your screen, then you could be missing out on rounds until you do notice, and if you were watching your auto battles, then you might as well be doing them yourself anyway, as it will be quicker. Now this can be fixed if they just remove the need to come off the screen and wait a few seconds to start the next battle, and add the ability to end the auto battles during your current fight with a simple toggle option. Let me know what you think of the Djembe features down below, and add any of your suggestions in the comments of what you think they should add or change. And with any luck, someone from Hustle Castle will see these comments and hopefully add them to the game, just like they did with the auto battle feature in the first place. We only have 2 more things to talk about on this update, so let's talk about the Cathedral. Now I've already mentioned that the Cathedral now earns you scrolls for the clan bosses when you defeat the minion or guardian levels, so what else is new? Well, I'm sure that you've already seen that now they show you the proper values of what you can expect to earn every time you complete your cathedrals, but what they've also done is increase the amount you can earn for your hard and nightmare difficulty. On top of this, what they have also done is reduce the amount of time it takes to do a cathedral level. For myself, as long as I only focus doing the normal difficulty, I can actually get them done extremely quickly. Now this isn't as fast as I can do my gem base that I do myself, but it's still pretty fast. And the last thing they've added has been one of the new sets, and at first I was really excited about this, as I normally do cathedrals on occasion, so I really did think about doing this to earn this set. But then I had a count up of all the particles of light you would need to achieve a full 6-piece set, and just for clarification, I am talking about the mercenary set. To get this in a full 6-piece set, I would need to earn 40 essences. That's 20 for the main weapon and armor, 14 for the weapon, armor and soul, and 6 for the ring and amulet. And after adding up all the essences with the particles of light, you would need to earn 18 million particles of light, which not only sounds like a crazy amount, but if you was to spend all of that on the most expensive manuscript chests, you could have brought 571 of them. Now that's enough to get your whole team to at least level 7 in an 8-man squad, and I'm just talking minimal. So to compare a full 6 or 8-man squad at level 7 on the specializations to a simple 6-piece mercenary set, I'd have to pick the squad any day over a single man. So do I think you should go for the set? Well, as of right now, I don't think you should. But if you are interested in the set, then make sure you get subscribed, and if I'm able to do a set review if Hustle Castle let me, I'll let you know at least if it's worth saving up for, and with any luck, they'll hopefully reduce the amount of particles of light you'll need to obtain it. So for now, just keep saving up until they drop in price, or until you can see my video on it. Right, I think that's everything for today's video. I really hope you learned something today, or at least found it enjoyable to watch. And remember, for new subscribers, I have started a new series on A Plague Tale: Innocence, and it'd be great to have your support, so think about checking it out, as I'm sure you'll enjoy it.